Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast. Now, if you are watching this interview outside of our Facebook group for social media marketing agencies, make sure to find a link above or below this video or go to smmamastermind.com, especially if you are looking to start or scale a digital marketing agency. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me all the way from Illinois in Chicago, and he is going to share with us his digital marketing journey. He is actually a full-time educator as well as running his digital marketing business, and we're going to talk all about entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and really how you manage your work-life balance. Austin Chu, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining me. You know, I appreciate that you are a very busy man. You know, you have a lot going on. So for the viewers who don't know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction and how you got into the digital marketing space?
Definitely. I mean, I've always grown up with an entrepreneurial spirit since I was younger. You know, I've worked retail. I ran a landscaping business with my brother when we were in middle school and high school. And so I've always kind of had an interest in entrepreneurship, marketing, and just quite frankly, had a lot of different passions. So I was a sophomore in college and I was looking for a summer job, and I was always interested in marketing and business and social media. So I applied for an internship at Farmers Insurance, where I was a social media intern, right? And pretty much my job was to travel around Illinois and teach, small business owners how to use social media to increase their sales and kind of show these small business owners how to incorporate social media and different platforms to in their business, you know. And quite soon after, I realized that there was a community of small business owners that didn't have a lot of options for them when it came to social media management, branding, so I kind of, started marketing myself on LinkedIn, word of mouth. I was hired by Farmers a year later after my internship, and one thing led to another, and I was working with a lot of smaller businesses, mom and pop shops, and really enjoyed that. And I still enjoy that part of my work. But at the same time, I've had the opportunities to work with, larger businesses. I've had the opportunity to contribute to a book, and just all this stuff kind of snowballed after that. And so just my various interests kind of led me to where I am right now.
Wow, that's quite an awesome story, you know. Now you mentioned obviously you had this social media internship, and then you're going around teaching people how to use social media marketing. How comes you did not just pursue that? How did you become an educator along the way? You know, were you torn between the two?
Definitely. And especially during my years in college, I kind of weighed the two, but at the heart of it, my passion is in teaching, right? I love teaching. I love the world of education. And I was kind of really, talking to a lot of my mentors and professors when it came for the real world time when I had to apply for jobs. And every conversation I had ended up with teaching, just edging out the marketing just by a little bit. And the first couple of years were definitely tough trying to manage both, but then I feel like I'm at a place where I can commit wholeheartedly to my full-time job, which can be very demanding, but I really do enjoy it. And I get to also, still be a part of this marketing world where I'm a part of this fast-paced environment where I get to work with awesome small business owners and companies and work in different industries. Through my marketing focus, I'm able to work with restaurants, people in the art field, insurance agents, sports marketing. I get to have the opportunity to be on the global social media team at Wilson Sporting Goods for their racquetball division. And so being a part of that tennis world, I'm very passionate about tennis. I love the sport. Just having that experience is just a dream come true where I get to have the best of both worlds.
Wow. I mean, when do you actually sleep then? I mean, because you've got two full-time roles here. How many hours are you actually working in a week?
It goes anywhere from, I want to say, an average of, at least, 80 hours, give or take less. I don't know. The strange thing is I do prioritize self-care and sleep. And I don't need a lot of sleep, but I do realize the importance of just self-care, rest. My family is everything to me. My friends are everything to me. So just having that work life, I started using work-life harmony than work-life balance, because sometimes in certain seasons right now, like the US Open is happening, I have a restaurant with a new menu coming out, so I need to work on that, and just things like that where life gets busy and certain seasons get really busy, especially around this time. And so I've kind of turned to the term work-life harmony, where it's just sometimes work is going to take up more of life and sometimes it's going to be less. And I think just having that, being rooted in why I'm doing it, what I'm passionate about, learning to say no, which is still really hard for me, because the right opportunities will come up. And if you say yes to too many things, then it kind of overtakes your life a little bit. But like I said, just that work-life harmony of knowing what's important and still being passionate about what you're doing. I think if I wasn't passionate about my full-time job in education, or if I wasn't passionate about the projects that I'm working on, I think I would have burned out pretty quickly.
So, I mean, how long have you been balancing, you know, these two worlds together?
You know what? I kind of started in college, so I still was a full-time job. I was a full-time student, you know, taking classes, but I also remember like my one class on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays would end at 3:15. I'd be on the highway by 3:20, kind of visiting clients, you know, making cold call, you know, things like that. So I'm kind of used to just this like go, go, go attitude and go, go, go mentality. But I'm a couple of years out of college since then, and you know, I've definitely learned a ton, right? I'm an educator, so that means I learn a lot, right? And I want to, and I've made mistakes, and I've kind of learned from them, and just about balance and being able to balance both. And there's some, you know, occasions where I haven't done that as well, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, and I feel like I'm at a place where I have, you know, boundaries, and I have time set aside where, you know, I have my phone off, I have my laptop put away, where I don't look at that. And there are times where, like, you know, I have a set amount of time, I know what needs to get accomplished, and I just get it done within that time frame. So
Right.
a lot of early mornings and a lot of late nights.
I mean, I know my wife already hates the hours I work, so, you know, I really don't know how it goes in your house, but kudos to you for making it work, you know. So for the clients that you are providing your digital marketing services to, what are you actually doing for them?
That's a great question. So obviously I wear a lot of hats, but again, I wear even more hats when it comes to marketing. So I have titles such as social media manager, digital marketing consultant, technology consultant, digital marketing specialist. So it kind of depends on what the small business needs, right? If they're looking for just more of a social media manager, right? I'm able to manage their platforms. And then in addition to that, one part that I love and I feel like I'm learning so much about is the creative side. So if they're looking for more of the content creation, if they're looking for more of the community management aspect of it, where I'm engaging with the followers, and then in addition, just being a consultant or a specialist, right? If a company is thinking about opening up platforms or starting up platforms for their business, for their restaurant, for whatever, then I'm kind of the person that steps in and kind of lays out all the different platforms and explains it to them and shows them the value of it. Obviously, my training and education comes in handy because oftentimes I'll go into offices and train staff about how to utilize social media and the benefits of it and how it can make their lives easier, right? I use the phrase work smarter, not harder. And so a lot of things they're doing now could be, you know, could take less time if they utilize some of the advantages of digital marketing and social media.
Wow. Okay. You definitely are doing a lot. Now, do you have like virtual assistants or people that you farm out some of the tasks to, or do you have the in-house team supporting you, or, you know, how are you kind of, because surely you need to delegate some of it. You can't, you know, I mean, how does that work in your world?
Yeah, so obviously when I was a college student and fresh out of college, it was just a one-man show, right? It was just me, myself, and I, and all my office staff of, you know, just including me. But nowadays, I do have an assistant that works for me. I have another person that works on my team where I'm able to delegate and they're able to work on some accounts as well. But still, we're pretty small. You know, it kind of it's the two of us, and occasionally that intern I was talking about, I might delegate some work to. But we're kind of, you know, bare bones, and that's how we like to do it.
Yeah, no, awesome. I suppose that allows you to be agile as well. And then when you have a pandemic that we're going through hits, you don't have to lay off tens of people. You know, you don't have don't need to roll the dice with people's livelihoods. So, I mean, you've been running your agency for a couple of years now. A lot of the people who are, you know, going to be watching this, they will be totally amazed by, you know, the amount of work you're doing, both in your, you know, your role as an educator and also running your agency. You know, I think a lot of people try and focus on the agency side of things and they can't pick up clients. So, you know, they're going to be thinking, how is he doing a job and still picking up clients? So, you know, how are you actually doing all of your prospecting and signing new clients?
That's a really great question, and I'm learning as I go, because like a lot of your audience members and a lot in your community, this is their, you know, this is their main thing. This is the only thing that they're focusing on. And every person I talk to, every professor I talk to, every mentor I talk to told me that it is possible to do this, right? It is possible to have a stable 9-to-5 job and to kind of pursue your entrepreneurial passions as well. And that is something that has been ingrained in me by my family, by the people close to me, and saying, and always telling me, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And I think, to be honest, I don't do a lot of really active, you know, cold calling or trying to engage more clients. It really happens, a lot of it through word of mouth and through LinkedIn. I get a lot of, you know, messages, a lot of them just, you know, the messages that you get, but a lot of them are clients who are connected with other people that I've worked with. And I think I really value the importance of doing a job and doing it very well. And just being able to kind of stand behind a campaign or stand behind a project and kind of saying that I put 110% into it. And I think just my team's work ethic and our ability to perform and kind of carry out what we've promised has been really important to me. And I think just that ability to do that has been really beneficial, because that's how we get a lot of our referrals. At the same time, I'm very active on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is the only platform I really use to market my business. And so LinkedIn has been really an amazing tool to engage with a variety of individuals everywhere around the world, especially with you. You know, I'm amazed at how you're building this community of people all over the world. It's a global community. And I think that's just amazing of what you're doing. But LinkedIn pretty much is the way that I'm able to communicate with prospective clients, obviously, you know, through email as well. You know, people contact me, but I'm very active on LinkedIn and connecting with people left and right, because I love meeting new people, and there's always a lot of prospects out there.
No, that's absolutely amazing what you're actually doing, you know, and I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of people who have to kind of, you know, think, or they're in two minds whether they should kind of, you know, go full time in an entrepreneurial route, or should they play it safe a little bit, do the 9-to-5, build a business on the side before they jump 2 feet into the business. But what you are demonstrating is actually you can have the best of both worlds as long as you bring some sort of a balance into it. Now, I mean, you've given a great tip in terms of using LinkedIn to reach people all across the world. That is how we connected as well. And the clients that you are actually signing up for, are they coming on for a one-off project, or do you have them on a retainer? And if on a retainer, how long do how long do typically clients stick around for?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I think it just depends on the project, right? A lot of times, a lot of clients are looking for, just like you said, one project kind of thing. Like this summer, I had the opportunity to work with my alma mater, and we were kind of working on a social media internship, and that was the job. It was for 3 months. Or I have, you know, I have clients who just asked me to set up their social media profiles, or a client asked me to, and they have me on retainer for a year just to help decide or to help them through Instagram. You know, it kind of depends on the project. So I have clients that I've worked with for the past 5 years, up to clients who just asked me to work on a 1-month project, and then we kind of part ways. So obviously I have a lot of those 1-month clients kind of come back and say, hey, we got a hang of it, but we're getting too much, like it's too much for us to handle. can you do it? You know, they'll kind of put it back. And I always welcome that because we already have that built-in connection. We already have that relationship. So we're able to just pick up where we left off. But it kind of depends on the project. It kind of depends on the industry. Some industries need more of like a consistent person, which is always great because we can continue that relationship. But then again, for those like, you know, 1 month, 2 month type of jobs, you're always available for them to, and they know your services and they know what you offer. They know the type of work that you do and the quality of work that you do. And I'm such a people person. Like my clients are, I really do. I put a lot of trust and I put a lot of, it's, you know, it's a business relationship, right? And I always tell them like, I'm available through text, email, you can call me anytime. And I really put a lot of, I really value those relationships. So I think that also is just what's important to me. And so, like I said, it just kind of depends on the project and what service they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And you've mentioned that some clients have, you know, stuck around for 5 years. How do you get someone to stick around for 5 years? You know, I have spoken to a lot of kind of new agency owners that get clients to stick beyond a month. What's the secret to getting clients to stick around?
I think that really knowing what they're looking for, and I think social media can be very tricky at times because it's a long game, right? It's not like you have this account that you're going to have thousands of followers, you know, just like that, or they're going to have all this engagement happening with their posts. And so a lot of the business owners that really trust me and they trust the work that I do, and I'm not saying that I don't show them results, because in this industry, it's very results oriented, right? And I think that really when they entrust you with their business and you really understand what they're looking out for, and also, like I said, that relationship part is very key, right? A lot of comments that I hear from my clients is, you know, when I hire these big fancy agencies and these larger companies, first of all, I'm paying an arm and a leg for it, right? And a lot of times you're just talking to someone virtually, or it's very email driven. And it kind of depends. Some of the clients just prefer that. And a lot of times it's like boom, 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 email, all that stuff. But a lot of times I'm on the phone after work, on my way home, on my commute, checking in, right? I think that communication part is very key as well. You can't assume that the client knows or is up to date on everything that you're doing, right? I've had many conversations where we're talking and I say, okay, this is the follower count. This is what I'm doing with client engagement. These posts are going to go up. You know, I have it all set out, all on my calendar. And I share that with them and they said, I had no idea you were doing that. I had no idea that's how much work goes into it. Please keep me updated. And I'm like, I'm happy to do that, because I think that clear and direct communication where they really know what they're paying for, right? I consider it a huge, you know, respect thing, like where we're honoring what they've asked us to do. So that clear and direct communication and that relationship piece, I think is what, you know, keeps people wanting to work with myself and the things that I'm helping out with.
And you touched upon results there. Now, in terms of working with your clients, what are their expectations? What are the KPIs that you kind of work towards?
Right. We're always faced with results, and I don't lose sight of that. Again, it depends on what hat I'm wearing, right? If I'm talking about more of the training aspect, where I'm more of the consultant role, right? I'm advising, right? I'm advising platforms. I'm advising best practices when it comes to their business and how it looks in terms of digital marketing. So that can span, those results can be a lot of things. Maybe the results is getting the platform up and moving by, you know, by a certain date, or maybe it's a certain number of followers. But I think if the client understands that it's not going to happen overnight and that we're working towards a collective goal, and that it really, there has to be a lot of, you know, self kind of like really, you need to like push, share the page, and, you know, it needs to be shared word of mouth. We need to have engaging content, all those things. When you do all those things, that's when you see serious growth. And I think once a client understands that, and we have this collective goal, instead of like, hey, why am I not at 20,000 followers yet? Or why am I not at this amount? then that conversation becomes a lot easier. But those results kind of depend whether they want their platform set up, whether they want their platform performing at this with this follower number, or if they are wanting their staff trained and just more help with that technology, digital marketing part. It just kind of depends on what the client's looking for.
Mm-hmm. And when you pick up a new client, how do you kind of set a great first impression with them?
Always meeting in person. Obviously, it's really hard right now with COVID, but face to face, I think, is really important. And getting off on the right foot, really sharing my story, where I'm coming from, what I can offer to them. It's really less sales pitchy, and it's just more of a conversation like you and I are having, because I'm an open book. I tell them exactly what I'm able to do, and what things I can guarantee, and what things that we can do to kind of reach our collective goals together. And so I would say I'm just a really good listener, and I try to get I try to capture the whole story, what their mission is, what their passions are. I think small business owners cannot do what they do if they're not passionate about it. And I think when I get a good handle of what their story is, what the goals are behind their business, that kind of helps me kind of come up with more of the creative side, more of the content, the stories that they want to share, all that stuff. It kind of like starts, I'm able to like jot notes and make lists on lists of what their story is. And I think with what I really try to do is amp up that branding side, right? You could have, 10 different insurance agents. They're all selling the same product. They're all under the same company. What makes my client individual, right? I have this one client where we've really had a lot of fun with storytelling. Mm-hmm. And they're this individual who is passionate about their community. They're a parent. They're focused on their family. They also have a their hobbies, right? Also kind of incorporating all their passions and all their outside activities. Like, they're really passionate about exercise and running, and they run marathons, and incorporating that into kind of how we showcase their ability to sell insurance. I think that's what makes things interesting. If I'm just saying, oh, life insurance this, life insurance that, people are just going to block that out. They're going to mute us on Instagram. They're going to block us on Facebook. But if we incorporate that storytelling into this insurance agent being a mom to 3 kids, being an avid runner, being someone who is really silly a lot of times, I think that's what makes people more engaged and ultimately more interested in the products that they're selling and the services that they provide.
Awesome. That's a great tip that you've shared in terms of how do you differentiate when you have 10 people selling the same product. Now, you mentioned that you work with quite a few different industries and niches, if you like. Have you not tried to focus on one niche and become an expert there? Or, have you always liked kind of working in different industries?
Totally, right? I think that I've always been interested in a lot of different industries, right? Starting from middle school, high school, I've had so many different jobs, and I've learned so much in every industry that I'm a part of that I couldn't say no to an opportunity that comes up in an industry that maybe I'm not familiar with. I love kind of jumping in with both feet, not knowing a lot about it, but learning from it, right? I think that's the key, and telling people that you're willing to learn with them. Like, you're an expert in that marketing field, but you're willing to try anything and everything in that industry. Excuse me. Granted, there's a lot of research that goes behind it, right? I never want to be the person that doesn't have the details, that isn't caught up in any type of situation or any type of room. So I think I definitely have thought about maybe if I just focus on this industry or maybe this, but honestly, I can't say no. If a job comes in and it's in an industry that I know nothing about, I will be the person that knows the most about it, and I will take that opportunity to accomplish the goal, whether that might be. Because yes, they are very different, but I think a lot of the goals, there are a lot of common goals that a lot of businesses are striving for. It just depends on what services, what industry they're in, whether it's, promoting a restaurant, or whether they're trying to sell, insurance, or whether they're trying to sell tennis balls. It kind of depends on, we all have this common goal of, selling something or promoting something.
Mhm. Awesome. I absolutely love that attitude, and I'm sure it shows through to the clients that you're speaking with as well. You know, and we are very quickly running out of time. So, final question for you, Austin. What's next for you? I mean, are you going to be continuing playing these dual roles, or do you plan to expand your agency, take on more staff, and go full time into that route? I mean, what's next?
You know what? I'm really open to anything and everything. I'm a planner, right? I strive to be organized, and I am organized, and I plan. But I think a lot of times, especially this year more than ever, we've kind of realized that it's really hard to do that, and it's really hard to do that as a small business owner. It's hard to do that as a human in general. So I think I'm really grateful where I'm at right now. I love the clients that I work with. If we have the opportunity to expand, obviously wouldn't say no to that opportunity. But I'm always looking for new and innovative projects to be a part of. And I really do try to stay in the present of the clients that I'm with, being passionate, excelling where I'm at right now. But I think right now I'm kind of, I'm still really young in my career. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything and that I know, like where I'm going to be in 5-10 years. So I think just kind of relishing and just being grateful for where we're at right now, and obviously dreaming, right? Dreaming and hoping that new opportunities come where we're able to instill the same amount of passion and excitement is kind of what I'm looking forward to. Sorry for the broad and kind of like answer, but that's where I'm at right now.
No, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You have an amazing story. You know, you are a very intriguing person for sure. For sure. I mean, on that note, Austin Chu, I would love to come back and catch up with you at some point in the near future.
Totally.
Episode,
Yeah.
maybe early 2021. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was great talking with you, Abul.